Hi, this is Captain Lorenzetti, and today I would like to talk to you about my favorite fluke rig. It's actually caught on pretty much up here in the Northeast. A lot of people are switching over to it. It's very simple, it's reusable, and I've caught fish over 10 pounds on it, and I've caught tiny fish on it, and I've caught weak fish on it, and just about anything that swims is going to go for this rig. What we're going to do is we're going to end up selling it here at Trophy Tackle in a kit form. A lot of people like to tie their own rigs. You feel like you're a part of what you're doing. Gives you a little satisfaction when you catch a fish on a rig that you've produced yourself. So what we're going to do is package up a little kit so you can make 6 rigs and have additional left over. You'll have additional fluorocarbon line. You'll have some additional quick clips left over. And then you can add to it. You can buy the individual components, whatever. But to get a start on it, we're going to sell it in kit form, and you can do the tying. Basically now what I'm going to do is show you how I put this rig together. I like to use 30-pound fluorocarbon line. It definitely improves the bite. I start out with, I cut 2-foot long lengths. All right, that'll be my top hook. And then cut a few extra. What I do is just simply fold it in half and clip it at the bend, so that'll give you 12-inch pieces. So the leader that I use with my hook is going to be 24 inches long to start, and the leader that will go to my bucktail or bottom rig is going to start out at 12 inches. The hook I like to use is an eagle claw, octopus circle hook they call it. This is awesome. You don't even have to set the hook on the fish. You'll just feel a little weight or a little tug and just raise the rod tip, and the fish is hooked easily and always in the lips, or in the jaw. Like 1 in 50 fish might have this hook down in the gut. So in the days of catch and release, it's very important. I think the circle hook helps that tremendously. Another important part of the rig is a true turn 3-way swivel. When you use 3-way swivels, there's a tendency for the lines to get tangled, to twist, and to lay on top of each other. So the true turn 3-way swivel eliminates most of that. And then my latest addition to this is a small, it looks like a little paper clip. It's called a quick link. That's also made by Eagle Claw. I use this at the bottom. This would be where the weighted lead head goes. I like to use a bucktail, but what's nice about this is at the end of the day of fishing, you can take your bucktail off, and it's put away. It can be washed down. It's not tied to the rig, and your rig is plain and simple and clear. You can just put the hook into an eye on the rod, and the rig is ready to go the next day. Another good thing is during the course of a day, tide may change, or you'll get into deeper water, and you may want to increase the weight on your bucktail. So you can just simply take the one off you're using, put a new one on that's heavier or even lighter. The whole idea though is to use the lightest bucktail possible that will hold bottom well, so that every time you lift the tip of your rod, that bucktail is going to make contact with the bottom. If it stops doing that, then you have to go to a little bit heavier bucktail. Okay, so now it's time to tie our rig. Have all the components laid out. I'm going to start with my long piece, my 24-inch piece of, in this case, 30-pound fluorocarbon, but you can use 25 if you can get away with it. I think 25 would be better if you go a little bit lighter, but let's say we start with 30. I tie all improved clinch knots where this 3-way is. Notice the long one goes to the side arm of the 3-way swivel. That's going to be the single hook attachment. So 1, 2, 3 times around through the opening it creates just above the eye of the 3-way. Grab the end back through the loop. I'm going to hold the end here. Normally I would put it in my teeth to snug it up, but for videotaping purposes we want it to be visible to you. So there's my improved clinch. Alright, I'm going to also, since I have this in my hand already, might as well go to the drop part. This is going to be your bucktail or other lead head you want. Same thing. Improved clinch knot. 3 times around. Through the loop by the eye it created and back again. Let's see if I can get this done right and stay in camera. Ooh, almost. Hey, we did it. You did it, Captain Al. Snug it up. All right, so those are our two drops. We got our 24-inch and our 12-inch. Now we're ready for the business end. Of course, the empty part of the three-way, that's where your line from your rod and reel is going to attach. And believe it or not, I mean, you can tie an improved clinch at this point, but on all my rods, I use these quick connects on the end of my running line, so I can quickly connect this rig, and at the end of the day, I can take the rig off, rinse it with fresh water so it doesn't start rusting up, the hook stays sharp, and all of that. So just another opportunity to do something a little bit different and a little bit more inventive, and it works very well. Now to the hook. At the hook end, this is where the fish is going to bite. Its teeth are going to hit the leader material to some degree. It's going to maybe take more abuse and the actual tugging of the fish. So this knot I want to be really secure. So I like to use a trilene knot here, which is 2 times through the eye. That creates a loop. And then 3 times around your line and back through that double loop. This one I believe I'm going to have to raise up here to hold the end to begin to snug it. Wet it with a little saliva. I'm going to use a pair of pliers on this one. And snug that up. Okay. And then we're going to go to the quick clip. A lot of people have difficulties deciding what end to tie to with these clips. But you'll notice that one side there's a little bent on this, looks like a little paper clip with a little bent end to it. That's the end you want to tie to, because that little bent point is where the lure is going to slip over it and slide down to the bottom of the rig. So I want to tie it over here. Again, I like a trilene knot at this point, 2 times through, because there's going to be a lot of pressure at that point. That's where the bucktail or lead head's going to be tied off. And again, I'm going to put a pair of pliers on it and snug that up. Okay. Basically, that's the rig. Now all we have to do is clean it all up, cut off all those little ends, and here I want to keep it close, but not too close in case the knot slips a little bit. But if you leave these little tag ends sticking out too far, it's going to cause this rig to tangle itself up. So you want to trim it. You want to be careful. You want to get it close, but not too close, just in case that knot slips a little bit. Clean it all up. All right, our finished rig. So now you would tie this off to your line from your rod and reel. I love Spro bucktails. You can put a bucktail on the bottom. Most times I'm using a 2 ounce. In skinnier water, maybe a 1.5 ounce. There's your bucktail. And then on the business end up here, I love pink Gulp. They work beautifully. I've caught all kinds of great fish on them. But you have all kinds of possibilities here. If you want to use a bait like a spearing, you can just simply put a spearing on this. If there are weak fish around, you want to put a sandworm on it, that's fine. You want to put a bass assassin on it. Any kind of soft, either natural or artificial bait is going to work great. But like I said, I love the Gulp in pink or chartreuse. Excellent. And that's all there is to it. You work this, simply twitch the rod tip, bounce it off the bottom, let it come back. You feel a little tap on the bottom and you're ready to go again. Just keep working this right along. Deadly. Deadly on fluke, deadly on anything that's swimming out there. Beautiful rig, easy to tie, and worth its weight in gold. Just talking a little bit here about technique with this rig. When you're fishing it, notice that this is kind of floating loosely out here, and your most direct connection is from your line right to this bucktail. And when I'm fishing, there's a difference in a strike from a fluke on the bucktail versus on your bait or your artificial over here on this hook. Your bucktail to your rod tip is a direct connection, and the bucktail is heavy and the fish attack it with a vengeance on the bottom. They usually actually pin it to the bottom. If you're working your bucktail and you feel a sharp wrap, most likely that's a hit on the bucktail, in which case I immediately set the hook. However, when they bite on this, on your gulp or whatever's on this hook, it's not a direct connection to your line. Notice it's kind of swinging out here. You don't feel a sharp hit. You just feel a little bit of maybe a little tug or just weight on it. With that circle hook, you don't have to go crazy and don't do a wild hook set. I would just simply, when I feel that a little additional weight, I just lift up firmly and securely. Just pull it up tight, and you're going to come tight and that fish is going to be hooked. Because that circle hook, 95% of the time, is going to be hooked right in the lip of that fish. So when you have to release those short ones, they're not going to be hurt. That's a great thing about using the circle hook. Anyway, it's an excellent rig, works beautifully on all, mainly on fluke, but anything else that's out there that can get their mouth on it. So good luck with it. Enjoy it, get the kit, and have fun.
For product links and more information, check out the video's description on YouTube. And please subscribe to our YouTube channel. And remember to click on the settings, then check Send Me Updates, and we will keep you up to date with the latest tips, products, and fishing reports.